Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and I am also a doctoral student of psychology. Today, we're going to go over things that you should never do or you should try not to do for a man. And I made the woman version as well, female, male version. I just make both of them together. And I don't know which one I'm going to submit first. So just keep that in mind. The next one of the opposite gender is coming soon. And I wanted to make this video because I think a lot of people, sometimes they do things for people because they want to be loved, they want to be cared for, but that person may have not earned it. Now, some of these things you might do because you've been together for so many years, and that's okay, right? You don't have to take everything I say so specifically. Take it with a grain of salt, but just be aware of your situation. And if these things apply to you just a little bit, take a moment to reflect. What are some things that you can adjust so that someone doesn't take advantage of you, someone doesn't hurt you, right? The goal is so that you don't get hurt by somebody, that regardless of what happens with this relationship, you're still okay and you're receiving the love that you deserve. That's kind of the goal of this video. And the very first one, believe it or not, is really common, that you actually take fault for him or you cover for him. So that's the first thing that I think might not be best for you to do, especially if you just met this man. You cover for him, you lie for him, you take fault for him. I've seen that in couple sessions where she might say it's easier for her to take fault because she's not as commonly doing stuff like this. Obviously I'm not going to tell you what it is, but that just makes her record get messed up, or it will change some things with her career, whatever it is, but she's taking this fault and she's covering for him. She can get in trouble for these things. This can actually happen. And I really hope that none of y'all are doing that. Because regardless of who it is, if a man wants to take care of you or treat you properly, he's not going to let you do this for him anyway. So this really shouldn't be happening, okay? The next one is you shouldn't lose your identity or yourself for this person. Don't give up your interests, your goals, your values just to please him or just to keep him. It's going to be to the point where he's not going to even know who you are. And on his perspective, he might not love you for who you're trying to be. He probably loved the original version of you. That's why he got with you. But also, if you feel like he doesn't like you and you have to change yourself for him continuously and you give those things up, that relationship is imbalance, right? You're giving up your interest, goals. And sometimes it's not even about him. Sometimes you think that's just how relationships are supposed to be. And that may have been in your childhood. But it's important to recognize that your identity is that's the most specific part of who you are, your goals, your values, your identity, your interests, your choices, right? This is what makes you who you are. And that is a person that you must protect at all costs. And if somebody is not able to respect that person, they don't love you. They have to respect you for who you are. That doesn't mean you can't change or adjust for the relationship, but it's got to go both ways, okay? And so very similarly, the next one is you change who you fundamentally are. Not change every now and again. That's okay. Fundamentally who you are. And maybe you're doing this to mold yourself into what you think he wants, or you're trying to mold yourself into someone he's asking you to be. And that's not fair. That creates a very strong power dynamic and it's not healthy. But why else is this unhealthy other than the obvious things we just mentioned? When you change who you fundamentally are, you create a form of self-hatred. Because you're telling yourself that person who you are fundamentally is not good enough. And you begin despising that person. You begin disliking that person. You begin telling yourself that person is not valuable of love. And you stay in that situation. And unfortunately, that means other people who want to hurt you or put you down, you can attract them more, right? Because you're feeling like you should do this. You can attract a person who believes that who you are fundamentally should be changed because you also believe that. And those people can be very dangerous, so be careful of that, okay? The next one that you should never do for a man is you shouldn't make all the sacrifices continuously, okay? Relationships are a two-way street. You don't want to be the only one compromising. Now, if he's an avoidant male, I already know he's not going to compromise as much as you are, especially in the beginning. I know. I'm not going to lie to you and say it should be completely equal. I know it's not going to be if he's avoidant. I already know that. But he should be making some compromises. And as the relationship progresses, he should be making more compromises than he used to. Relationships are not 50-50, even like 100-100. Like they just fluctuate, right? I will not lie to you. Relationships are not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. They just are not. And there will be moments where you're making more sacrifices than him, but you also want moments where he's making sacrifices for you too, maybe even more so at some point in the relationship. And this one's a little bit tricky because it depends on the situation. So keep that in mind and adjust it basically for your own perspective, okay? Another thing that you should never do for a man is put his needs always above yours. Your well-being and needs matter too. By doing this, you're making yourself feel like you're not loved. Like I had mentioned, sometimes you're going to have to adjust needs here and there depending on the relationship. That is okay, at least from my perspective. However, you never want to do that all the time. It'll put you in a position where you might be scrambling to protect and find yourself if he leaves you, if he hurts you, or if you want to leave the relationship. You might have forgotten what you need in your next one, and it might affect your next relationship. Or, to be very honest, and I'm not throwing you guys under the bus here, but if you always put his needs above yours, how does he even know your needs? How is he going to meet your needs and make you feel loved and appreciated if he doesn't even know what they are? And he's not going to feel good if he found out that you always put his needs above yours. He's going to feel like not so good of a person. He's going to feel horrible that he has been accepting that. He might not even have known that that was happening. And you're going to resent him. And the relationship's going to dissolve, whereas in actuality, maybe it didn't even have to if you just ask for your needs and you guys compromise in whatever fashion, right? So that's really important. I think a lot of people don't realize that that's a big problem when trying to put someone's needs above your own. They're not doing it. You are. And so you're actually hurting the relationship by doing so. The next one is taking full responsibility of his emotions and happiness. Let's say he got mad. And maybe you did say something that wasn't so great, and he got really angry at you, maybe more angry than he should have. And you take responsibility fully and say, I'm the reason he got mad. That is not true. What you said could have triggered his anger, but he can control his emotions. Now, can you adjust your language? Can you apologize? Can you readjust yourself? Absolutely, and I think that you should. However, is it your fault that he showed that emotion? No, he could have picked any emotion. That's not up to you. And you want to be careful with this one as well, because if you're taking full responsibility constantly for somebody's emotion, happiness, whatever it is, what you start doing is you start making yourself feel like you're almost like disposable and you're not valuable. Because if you can't fix his emotions or whatever is going on, you're going to start thinking that it's your fault. And the relationship is failing because of you, and that another person can make his emotions better or happier, and so you're replaceable, when that's not true at all. He's responsible for himself. He's going to act like this regardless. I just want you guys to know that, okay? The next one is hiding your true feelings and opinions. It's very important to recognize that, first of all, if you're doing this because you think you have to, that's probably not a very healthy man for you. What do you think? Another thing is, if you're hiding your true feelings and opinions because you think he's going to abandon you, let's be honest, imagine how he feels if when he finds out your true opinions and emotions and you hid them from him. He's going to feel like a terrible guy. And he's also going to feel like, wait, who are you then? Do I not know you? Again, not picking on y'all, but if you do this, you're not letting him love you. You're not letting yourself be loved. You're hiding that person. And it's not fair for him, especially if he wants to love you and you're not letting him, that's going to push him away. So please, show your feelings and opinions. I understand if you're not ready right away because you're scared. I respect that. Everybody comes from different places. A lot of people who are traumatized, they're really afraid of showing their feelings and opinions because they were reprimanded, abused, or hurt when they were a child. So they don't do that. And that's okay. I'm not telling you to go all out and do this. Just be gentle. Open up slowly and see if he's a safe person. If he's taking your feelings and opinions seriously, then open a little bit more. Go slowly. It's okay, okay? The next one that a lot of people do for men that I don't think is always the healthiest is it doesn't happen right away, which is why this one can be tricky. You actually stop communicating your needs because you don't feel like he's listening. And I just had a couple talk about this, and I'm not going to go into too much details, but the short version of this dynamic that I see in relationships is, for whatever reason, he's being stubborn, his own reason, and he wants to listen to her, but he doesn't realize that he's made such a safe space for her. I mean, an unsafe space for her. So now she's shutting down, and she feels like if she continues to communicate her needs, he's going to leave her. And so she stops communicating her needs. This is not safe because it actually doesn't make him know what he needs to do for you. And the relationship is now built on distance and resentment. Now, There is a moment where maybe over communicating can also be dangerous, of course. You don't want to ever over communicate for your needs either. It happens, that's fine. But what I think is more healthy is if you feel like at the moment your needs are not being met, there's no point in repeating it over and over. It's going to make you frustrated. What I say to patients sometimes is take a break from communicating, let him hear it. Especially if it's in session, I know that he heard it. I saw him, right? If it's not happening in front of me, I can't really speak to that. But if I heard that she said this and I feel like he heard it, let's take a pause from communicating it for the moment, give him some time and see if he changes it. If not, bring it up again, right? That's a better way to add some space while still communicating your needs. You can still communicate them. You don't have to do it every day, but you also don't have to do it never, right? Find a balance for you and your partner, okay? And the next one is put your friends and family aside for him. You never want to do this because what happens if he leaves you? I'm not saying he will, but if he does, where's your support system? Right? Who is going to pick you up when you're falling? You don't want to be in a situation where you're all by yourself. And also a good man, a good partner, a good person respects your support system. So you shouldn't have to feel like you have to put it away, okay? And the next one is you ignore your financial independence only if applicable. If you guys have the system where you are financially dependent on him, and that's okay, like you guys have a family and that's your system, that's okay. I don't judge that. I'm just saying if you want to do something for yourself and he is stopping you from that, that's dangerous. Or if you guys are a couple and you're the stay-at-home, whatever it is, you should still have some safety net for yourself in case something happens to the relationship. You don't want to be in a situation where you're completely dependent and getting hurt, okay? You want to keep some of your autonomy intact. However that system works for you guys, that's up to you as a couple, okay? And the last one is you suppress your ambitions and dreams because you feel like it's going to affect the relationship or he's not going to respect that or whatever it is. You suppress these things. Doing this can be dangerous for you because you're telling yourself you're not good enough, but it's also dangerous for the connection between you guys because then he isn't able to love you for your dreams and ambitions because he doesn't know you're suppressing them. So please keep those things in mind, okay? I hope this video is helpful. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.